been reading a book. It's called Women Who Love Too Much, and I've got a group for women that's free. There's a meeting on Wednesdays and on Saturdays, and I'm just going to firstly start with this, and then I'll explain exactly what I'm up to. So you see this meme here. I found it on Facebook, and I just liked what it's saying to us. So growth is your ability to sit with yourself and not reacting with intention and long enough to see what is truth and what is residue from the past. So often in life, we're acting out from implicit memory, and we're acting out based on our attachment styles and our fears. So if we were anxious attachment or we're fearful attachment, we're going to basically be playing that out in our adult relationships. So as a result of that, what I did through the COVID situation that went on and the lockdowns, I had a meetup group, and I decided to reactivate that simply because something really good happened for me, that I stopped running that group meeting up. And then meetup.com, what they did was that they allowed people, because of lockdowns, to start running their meetings via Zoom, which was heaven for me. So there are some good things that have come out of being locked down, for instance, which we can be grateful for the good things that have come to us and new technologies that are coming forth. But if we look at this again and we read it to ourselves, so growth is my ability to sit with myself and breathing, not reacting, and with intention and long enough to see what is truth and what is residue from my past. So you can sort of think about that. And then this book is a book that has changed my life. And any woman that I've told about this book, or the meetup that we've been doing every Saturday, and we're on chapter 10 at the moment, we're coming to the end of the book, but I'll continue keeping this group going and then referring to this book over the coming year. It's a free meeting at the moment. I don't know where I'm heading with that as we go into 2022, but I would say for the rest of this year, which is 2021, I definitely am considering just keeping it as a free group on Meetup. And then this is from one of the pages of the book is extensive, but at the beginning of the book, it explains, and I'm just going to read this and then you can sort of understand it maybe this way. So, and I'll read this short list. There are, I think, 15 things on it. So no one becomes such a woman. This is a woman who loves too much, and men do the same as well. So let's just take it from the female perspective for now, because that's how it's written. So no one becomes such a woman who loves too much by accident. To grow up as a female in this society and in such a family can generate some predictable patterns. The following characteristics are typical of a woman who loved too much, of women who love too much, and women like Jill and perhaps like you. So she's really, there's different stories of different women throughout the book, which I can't, go into in detail, but it's describing people's lives, because this woman who wrote this book, called Robin Norwood, was a therapist, and she was, taking examples from her therapy sessions, and then it's become a book, and it's fabulous. It's an old book. I think it was written in the 80s. Can't remember the year, but let's read number one. So if you're a woman who loves too much, this is what you're looking for. And many of us who've been through early trauma, or we've got low self-esteem for different reasons, it may not be a parental abuse as an example, but it can be society too, or how we grew up in school. So typically, number one, for women who love too much, typically you come from a dysfunctional home in which your emotional needs were not met. Now, can you relate to that? That's what you're asking yourself, Typically you come from a dysfunctional home in which your emotional needs were not met. So number two, having received little real nurturing, you try and fill the unmet need by becoming a caregiver, especially to men who appear needy in some way. So again, we can go from the male perspective. We can change this around depending on our own codependency issues. So having received little real nurturing, so we want to know that we can, that we basically are drawn to people who are needy. Number three, because you were never able to change your parents into warm, loving caregivers you long for, you respond deeply to the familiar type of emotional, unavailable man whom you can again try to change through your love. So do you see yourself do that? Number 4, terrified of abandonment, you will do anything to keep a relationship from dissolving. Now, many people do this. They stay in relationships, you know, that really are unhealthy. And number 5 is almost nothing is too much trouble, takes too much time, or is too expensive if it will help the man you are involved with. So again, you know, look at this. You can stop the video and maybe look at this, or you can join my meetup that goes on Saturdays if you're a female. Number 6, accustomed to a lack of love in personal relationships, you are willing to wait, hope, and try harder to please. And that's fawning, where, and we can do this. This can go over then onto our work. Like we can be in a really unhappy job. It just doesn't affect one area of our life. It will, this women who love too much, it will affect various areas of our lives. And then number 7 is you are willing to take more than 50% of the responsibility, guilt, and blame in a relationship. Number 8, your self-esteem is critically low, and deep inside you do not believe you deserve to be happy, but rather you believe you must earn the right to enjoy life. So who, you know, do we really have to earn the right to enjoy life? Why can't we just enjoy life anyway? You know, life is a gift. But when we have this, you know, screwed up sort of stuff from childhood, then it means that we play this out, this role that we were taught. It's not something that's truth of who we are. Number 9, you have a desperate need to control men and your relationships, having experienced little security in your childhood, and you mask efforts to control people and situations as being helpful. And number 10, in a relationship, you are much more in touch with your dream of how it could be rather than the reality of the situation. So you're sort of living in this fairy land of the future. So it's great to have, you know, fantasies, but we're always in the now. So if we're over the top and we have these fantasies about, you know, what may happen in the future, and the future is really not that pleasant, then we're not being truthful to ourselves. And we can maybe see that with our friends sometimes. Like we'll have female friends, and we all do this as females. We'll complain about our friendships or relationships, and we're very good at sorting out other people's lives, but not our own. We're not having an honest conversation with ourselves. Number 11, if you are addicted to men, you are addicted to men and emotional pain. So that addiction is not, you know, our fault, but it's like an alcohol addiction or a food addiction. It's like there's an addiction going on that needs to be broken. Number 12, you may be predisposed emotionally and often biochemically to becoming addicted to drugs, alcohol, or certain foods, or particularly sugary ones. And number 13, you are being drawn to people with problems that need fixing, or being enmeshed in situations that are chaotic, uncertain, and emotionally painful. And you avoid focusing on your responsibility to yourself. You know, you sort of put it out there, we project our own pain and we don't really do anything to change our own circumstances. And it can feel terrifying when we've been brought up like that, to be abandoned as well. So it's not about fault or blame, it's about really looking at it. And this is what this book is about. Number 14, you have a tendency towards episodes of depression, which you try to forestall through the excitement provided by an unstable relationship. Because when we're in unstable relationships that sort of align with where we come from as a child, our cortisol levels would be running high all the time out of fear, you know, self-doubt, you know, not having our needs met, and always worrying. So we carry that biochemical sort of reaction, and we're playing it out as adults. And number 14, we've done that one. So number 15, you are not attracted to men who are kind, stable, reliable, and interested in you, and you find such nice men boring. So this is some trademark here. This is information is Women Who Love Too Much by Robin Norwood, and the book is brilliant. And then I'm going to show you the group in a minute that I've set up, and that there are many members at the moment. And when I have a meeting currently, you know, 15 to 20 women show up, varies 10, 15, 20 women to each meetup, and it's very personal. And we check that we're all women before we start. So we start with cameras, and then you can turn it off and just chill out and listen. So Carl Gustav Jung, this is really beautiful. He said something that's lovely. He said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." So then what I'm going to do is show you now the group. So here you go. So this is the group that I set up, and currently there's 779 members. I'm very proud of myself for setting up this group, because this was to do with my own self-worth and self-work. And I didn't know that I would come to this, you know, that I'd be running it on Zoom, that I'd be able to help other women, and that they were also helping me. So it's like a teamwork. It's not, you know, anybody's in charge, and it's, you know, free event. And then on Wednesdays, Saturdays coming, we got Healing Codependency, Women Who Love Too Much. And then on Wednesdays, we do, the next one is, the next meeting is on Saturday, the 7th of August, and it's every Saturday. And then the Heal Your Inner Child work is Pete Walker's book that I use, and amongst other books. On Wednesdays, we got August the 11th, that's 5:30 p.m. The Saturday meetings are 7 p.m, but you need to check, because this is British summertime. Currently, I'm in London, so you would need to check what time you're on. But what you would do is go to this meeting on Meetup, my meeting, and then you join, and then you can RSVP. And when you RSVP, you will get the Zoom link that you'll be able to join the meetings. And that's it for today. I hope this is helpful, and you can go back to those questions and have a look at them. And, or if you want a PDF of those list of questions or thing, you know, it's not a list of questions so much, but a list of explanations to sort of see if they ring true for you. And then you can begin to think about, there's so much in this book that's gold. It's pure gold. It will change you. If you're codependent and you're stuck, it will change you. I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you later. I'm going to do another video later, an astrology video. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.